Alright, my fifth one would be four dangerous couple would like to the life sentence. Come on, connection.
In most cases, our partner is supposed to be our better half. However, at times, both halves are just as rotten. Number 4, Seth Welch and wife Tatiana Fusari. A woman who was convicted of slaying and the passing of her baby daughter near Cedar Springs will spend the rest of her life in prison. Tatiana Fusari, 31, was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. That's the mandatory sentence for a felony slaying conviction. In October, a jury found Fusari guilty of slaying and first-degree child hurt in the case of the gruesome ending of her 10-month-old daughter, Mary Welch's life. Mary was found lifeless in her crib at her family's Solon Township home on August 2nd, 2018. An autopsy revealed she was malnourished and dehydrated, and authorities say she had been left alone for 17 hours before her body was found by her mother.
I'm not sure that I'll ever understand what these parents were thinking or doing to, I guess I would have to say, literally watch their child starve to death. This is a tragic case from where I'm sitting.
When she passed away, she weighed only about a pound more than she had at birth. Fusari pleaded no contest in 2020 to second-degree slaying and second-degree child hurt in Mary's case, but was allowed to withdraw that plea, deciding to take her chances before a jury. At trial, she took the stand to tell jurors that her husband hurt her regularly, which she said prevented her from protecting Mary. In addition to the life sentence, Fusari was sentenced to a concurrent 15 to 30 years for child hurt, with credit for 1,102 days served. Her husband, Seth Welch, was convicted of slaying and child hurt back in January 2020 and sentenced to life in prison.
Is there anything you would like to say before I close this? No? Fair enough.
Number 3, Jose Torres and Kayla Norton. A Georgia couple was sentenced to years in prison for shouting racial slurs and threatening black adults and children at a child's birthday party in 2015.
I'm back, guys. Sorry, I had to go pee again.
Jose Torres, 26, and Kayla Norton, 25, to 20 and 15 years in prison, respectively. During the sentencing, the judge said the couple's involvement in the July 2015 confrontation was motivated by racial hatred.
I would never walk up to you and say those words. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Not me. That is not me. That's not him.
A jury gave the couple a guilty verdict on several counts of aggravated attack, making terroristic threats, and violating Georgia's Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. In 2015, Torres and Norton were members of a group of Confederate flag supporters, many of whom belonged to the group known as Respect the Flag. For 2 days, the couple and nearly a dozen others waved the flags while aboard pickup trucks and targeted their slurs and threats at black families in counties outside Atlanta. In Douglasville, the couple, among others, reportedly yelled racial slurs at the birthday party's attendees as they drove by. Torres also threatened to hurt the people at the party with a shotgun Norton had loaded and retrieved from his truck. The Douglasville family called the police. In a YouTube video posted by the Southern Poverty Law Center, pickup trucks equipped with Confederate flags drive by when police officers are responding to the call. The couple faces probation after serving their prison time, and are both banished from Douglas County.
The more than a dozen people originally involved in this, only
Now
4
you're
were
gonna have
charged.
to watch what you
Felonies,
say.
2 of them are now serving prison sentences.
Torres and Norton broke down in tears at their sentencing. Turning to the victims, Norton said she accepted responsibility for her actions and regretted her participation in the crime. Number 2, Jeremy and Christine Moody. A white supremacist couple in North Carolina have been sentenced to consecutive life sentences after slaying a registered offender and his wife. Jeremy Lee Moody and Christine Moody admittedly to purposefully targeting and slaying a couple a year back. The couple admitted to taking the life of Marvin Parker, 51, and his wife Gretchen Dawn Parker, 51, and said that they chose their victims because he was a registered offender. They were unrepentant at the sentencing and even kissed after being sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences each.
My wife and my family
Initially, Jeremy and Christine Moody apologized to the judge and asked for a 30-year sentence so they could see their children and grow old together. But after Union County Judge Lee Alford handed down the maximum punishment, they showed how they really felt. "See you perverts later," Jeremy Moody shouted at Charles Parker's family as he walked out of court. That's what child molesters get. If authorities had not acted fast enough, they may have had more victims. Christine Moody said that they had another offender in mind as their third victim, but were caught in connection to the Parker slayings before they could strike again. The Moodys pled guilty to slaying, kidnapping, burglary, and firearm possession, though they had personal connections to a local supremacist group, Crew 41, which the Southern Poverty Law Center notes has a history of targeting offenders. The Moodys claim that the Parker slaying had nothing to do with the group.
I'm sorry I wrote that commandment, but I couldn't believe God.
Union County Sheriff David Taylor told the SPLC that Jeremy shot both of the victims, while Christine slit the wife's throat after they told Parker and his wife exactly why they were going to end them. Lawyers said both defendants were physically misconducted as children, and that made them want revenge against the type of people who hurt them. They believed they had a divine assignment to end all offenders, as explained by psychologist Harold Morgan, who analyzed Jeremy Moody. After he was arrested, Jeremy Moody directed investigators to a sheet of paper in his home. He wrote the name and address of another offender, telling police he was going to end that person the next day had he not been arrested. Number 1, Erica and Dia Millerberg. A woman who pleaded guilty in 2014 to obstructing justice and desecration of a body in connection with a drug overdose of a 16-year-old babysitter in 2011 had been released from prison early.
Doesn't matter if you're a fan of the numbers, a fan of the name on the front, or the back of the jersey, a fan of content that's extra nice.
Dia Millerberg, along with her husband Eric, was charged in 2012 in relation to the passing of Alexis Rasmussen in September 2011. Authorities said Alexis passed away from a drug overdose, and her body was dumped in a remote area of Morgan County. Eric Millerberg was sentenced 6 years to life in March 2014 after a jury convicted him of child misconduct homicide. Dia Millerberg pleaded guilty to obstructing justice, acquiring prescription drugs unlawfully, and abuse or desecration of a human body, each third-degree felonies, in June 2014. She told the Utah Board of Pardons and Parole, "I feel like I do deserve to be here," during a 2015 hearing. She was denied parole, but officials acknowledged that she had cooperated with authorities in the case. The key testimony in the trial came from Millerberg's wife, Dia, who said it was Eric Millerberg who injected methamphetamine and heroin into the teenager's body. Alexis babysat for the couple, but her friend also testified that she and Alexis would go to them for drugs and alcohol.
Sorry to do. In a way, I just kind of appalled and disgusted by it.
The Millerbergs prepared drugs for the three of them, and they injected methamphetamine and heroin, smoked marijuana, drank alcohol, and engaged in physical activity the night Alexis died. Dia Millerberg said the girl reported being really cold and shaking. Millerberg, a former nurse, didn't think much of the girl's symptoms at the time, but when Alexis became unresponsive later in the night, she tried to resuscitate her, but to no avail.
You stayed. And you stayed affected my life. And affected my children's lives.
The North Ogden girl was last seen the night of September 10, 2011, when she was reportedly babysitting the couple's two young daughters. Eric Millerberg told both the girl's mother and a close friend that he didn't know where she was or...
Okay guys, I will see you in my 6th one, so I see you then.